So as a part of your syllabus, we will be doing this particular text called The Truth About Me, and it's a Hijra life story. Alright? It's definitely a genre that it's still evolving. A genre that we all will be sort of identifying, naming and critiquing. Okay? For that matter, what we can roughly decide is that it will be a part of Indian Anglophone trans literature. Of course, they all are Indian. They are trans writers and the language is English. Either they are writing this in English or this is a word that you get in English translation. So as a part of the English department's class, what you are doing is Indian Anglophone trans literature. And what is the subcategory? Life narratives. Alright. So two important things that I would like to focus is, number one, what is this trans identity? Trans identity is something that is beyond. In this heteronormative society where we take for granted that a society and its smallest unit is a family, a domestic space, a house. So everywhere from the smallest unit to the largest unit, you are supposed to have people who can be only divided into man and woman. What about the in-between space? Now, in order to be a voice of this in-between space, that is the trans space, it's very important for the trans people to write. Just it was important for the women to write about themselves. Remember, a literature of their own. So similarly, a literature of their own is also very important for the trans. That's why autobiography is very important. I remember I went to Bangladesh to present a paper on this, and somebody said we have trans representation in literature. And also they are sometimes like heroes, treated as protagonists, main characters. So why it's so special about autobiography? Why do they have to write an autobiography? Why the genre is to life narrative? What I have to say is that a trans has every right to represent themselves. I've already told you that we have to bring grammar for this. It has to be an inclusive pronoun, right? So in order to represent themselves, it's not necessary that the trans will always try to be the chief character, right? Even there will be time when you would see that a trans at times chooses to just shut up. A trans has every right to be a negative character. A trans has every right to think aloud, wonder aloud. Not to always fit into the trope of a perfection and always be a hero of the story. So that's why a trans writing is important. Because a trans voice, you will see, there are certain texts, even a poem by Kalki Subramaniam, when clearly this identity says that I am fed up of really identifying when I first identified myself as a trans. I have every right to be shut down. Right? I am tired, I am exhausted of explaining how it is to be trans. So this can be also a statement. That's why life narrative has to be written by the people, by the trans, in order to explain themselves. And remember, in our last class, we have been through Revathi. I told you, Tamil trans writer. Revathi's two texts, a life trans activism and a Hijra life story, where in two texts she takes two positioning. One is Hijra and the other is life. And then again we have Kalki Subramaniam. She too, or rather they too, right, will be using they are a Tamil trans autobiography writer. We have Lakshmi Tripathi, a Marathi trans autobiography writer, and Manobi, a Bengali trans autobiography writer. In order to see how important is this genre autobiography for them, we have tried to also read out portions from the meta text like author's note, where they try to say why they are writing this. This is very unique. You would not get this in some other canonical literature, where they have this urge, this anxiety of representation. You get my point? So this urge of this anxiety is also, it comes partly from a trauma. That authenticity of representation is there, which you know meta text to be. Now what we have decided, in order to make this class meaningful, we are going to celebrate reading trans autobiography, reading Revathi for 3 consecutive days. Today, Monday and Tuesday. 2 presentations. So the first mentor-mentee group would be ACs, and here our students done is that we have divided this into 6 literary motifs. Alright? So you are each one of the mentor-mentee group is going to identify this literary motif in the text. Right? So all the best to each one of them. AC's group would be doing, what is this topic? Placeness. So as a part of this placeness, what we are going to look is that how Revathi, a trans identity, is being shaped by Tamil landscape, the Tamil geography. How important is this representation? Right, the cultural identifications, the culture that she chooses, the culture that she tries to adopt and also in a way subvert. So what is this exact Tamil culture, this Tamil landscape? That is what they are going to situate. After that, we will be doing domesticity and transmogrigraphy. So all the best to AC's team. Thank you.
My dear friends, today we, the mentees of AC Ma'am, are going to present on the topic Exploring Placeness in Revathi, a true history story, an analysis of culture, space and identity. We are the masterminds and we are Utsa Chatterjee, Riya Dubey, Anisha Kundu, Anushka Ghosal, Sayan Mukherjee and Jishan Ali. Now we will talk about Revathi, who is the writer of the book. Revathi is a Indian transgender activist, writer and actress. She was born in Tamil Nadu, India in 1978 and she gained prominence for discussing about her identity and expressing her life as a transgender. In her autobiography, The Truth About Me, a History Life Story, she discusses and shows the struggles and the triumphs of the transgender people that they face in the society which marginalizes and discriminates with them. Now we will know and talk about the theme of placeness. The theme of placeness delves into a sense of belonging where the history community or the transgender people will find solace. Now we will talk about the importance of understanding culture, spatial and identity dynamics and physical place where the Hijra community can find acceptance and connection within the society, again filled with discrimination. Now we will talk about and know why it is important to understand cultural, spatial and identity dynamics. As it is important because it sheds light on the difficulties they face or the challenges and struggles they are facing by trying to showcase their identity, by trying to claim it and trying to showcase that in front of people and by trying to be accepted.
We will come across the cultural context. Our first subtopic is description of Tamil Nadu's cultural map. So, as we have read the text, we will see that in the heart of the Namakkal Taluk, Salim district, our protagonist Dora Swami, whose dream name is Revathi, lives. Will come across where our protagonist lives is that particular text. The culture is deeply rooted in the cultural context, the cultural traditional context, beliefs and experiences. The village life is characterized by a close-knit community committed to the age-old traditions. Here we'll come across temples which plays a very vital role in the play, not only for worship purposes but also for social gathering and during the festivals, during the times of temple festivals. Next we have our second point, emphasis on traditions, customs and rituals. In this narrative, social norms, traditions, customs and rituals play a significant role on shaping the characterization of Revathi's identity. First, our first terminology is the traditions, where we will come across the traditional norms, how the genders represent themselves, the way they dress, like wearing saris, skirts, and having long hairs as a marker for femininity. And the males wear dhotis and kurtas. Next, we have customs. Custom is also a terminology which is also related to the we have different customs, that is customs in village life. We will see if we read the text. There, the morning is started with the prayers, and the festivals are also celebrated to unite, having a unite bonding among the people. And if we see across the customs of Erode, the dance, and we see the customs of Erode, the dance performance as led by Nani, which is termed as a Kala Guru, it presents a community. Dance performance like Karagam, Bharatanatyam, Peacock dance, Saban Supi, etc. are portrayed. Next we will come across the rituals, which basically relates to the traditions and customs, and also Revathi finds a very trivial tension between the gender roles, as because the males perform something different and the females perform something different. But as Revathi is a transgender, as Insimam said, that we should we should depict this character as they or themselves. They face the dilemma to which he or she, that they face the dilemma to which category they should go. Our next subtopic is examples from the narrative highlighting cultural practices. In chapter 3, in the last of the second page, we will come across how Revathi was told to dress as a Purati and dance or acted, and we will also come across that in the last 3 or 4 in the last 3rd or 4th chapter, that Revathi has danced on the peacock dance during the Mariamman festival. Yes, that's all. Next slide.
Revathi explored the concept of placeness by reflecting on how her surroundings influence her sense of self. Different places that she has traveled to, from her hometown to the cities, and showed us how it shaped her identity and experiences. It's fascinating. The environment can have an impact on who we are and how we see the world around us. First one, exploration of physical spaces, a snapshot of the natural landscape, mentioning with prominent landmarks such as DGC, Vinayak Temple, Mariamman Temple, Kalpaman Temple, and the famous Hill Temple. This works as a this landmarks serves as a cultural touchstones which reflects the religious and historical significance embedded within the village. Second point is description and rural pastoral readings. Description of pastoral activities such as livestock and working in the field and communal plays evokes a sense of rural paradise and connection to the natural environment. The third point is urban and rural environment. The protagonist transitions from this rural school to this bustling town school, gives us a contrast between serves as a contrast of the differences between spaces and lifestyle, and the contrast between familiarity of the village and the unfamiliarity of the urban surroundings contributes to her sense of discomfort and uneasiness. From at the beginning, we find that she was quite excited about moving to this new town school, but gradually she faces discrimination and bullying by her peers and teachers, which because of her feminine appearance and behavior, which later led her to stop coming to school regularly.
Coming to the identity and intersectionality, my slide has not to deal much with regarding the text, but as a general on how these transgender people are actually dealt with in the society. Coming to the caste dynamics, the narrator firstly delves into the story about how she was shown that she was an outcast in the society, and that influenced her to become as an activist. Coming to the gender identity, she from the very beginning came to know that she was not like any other girl or a boy of her age, of his or her age, or to be very specific, of their age. her exploration and acceptance of the fact that she is neither a male gendered person nor a female gendered person made her to become such kind of prominent activist. Her struggles with societal norms and expectations regarding gender roles and expressions could be highlighted from the very text itself. And social stigma and empowerment, we can আমি এই জায়গাটা একটু বাংলায় বলবো এখনো অবধি লুকিয়ে থাকি যে বাচ্চার জামা কাপড় কাঁথা এগুলো বাইরে দেখানো হবে না তাহলে ওরা এসে পরে বাচ্চা নাচানোর জন্য টাকা চাইবে যে এই জিনিসটা একটা যে মানে সোশ্যাল এভলিউশন যে হয়েছে যেখানে these people can actually earn their own livelihood যেটা আমরা মানবীর ক্ষেত্রে দেখতে পাই the most qualified person who is a principal of a college but still and their social stigma and empowerment actually makes them a total outcast from the main perspective এখন অবধি ওরা sexually assaulted হলে Indian penal code ওদেরকে কোনোভাবেই সেই মানে they are not treated as humans means their sexual assault can never be taken into account and we don't know when this change will come but basically the social stigma actually has still in some ways debarred them from the empowerment but we can look forward to a better future and so now